I would like to share with you a very fascinating and beneficial approach to a problem that I deal with a lot, and that is a very large part of my practice, and that is to help many children with production of speech. Children who are delayed in their speech or are non-verbal, what can be done for them? So, to start out with, there is a lot that can be done. I have to say that it's not a quick fix. There's no what they call silver bullet. There's no magic potion. But there is a lot that can be done. Of course, the most obvious thing that comes to mind when we are trying to increase speech is to involve the speech therapist. And of course, that's understandable and a good idea, because the speech therapist is highly skilled in helping a child or a person to communicate, to maximize the ability to communicate. However, it's very difficult for a speech therapist to increase speech production. It's very hard. What can a speech therapist do to create more speech? A speech therapist is trained to certainly help shape speech and to shape communication, but to make speech, that's really in the arena of the medical doctor, and specifically the doctor who is involved with natural medications, with increasing cell wellness. And this is, I'm blessed and fortunate to be involved in this field of medicine. And I would tell you that for the production of speech, some of the principles that we've already discussed apply, and there's a slight adaptation, slight changes which are brought into the general supplements that are used to increase cell wellness, which are beneficial in the production and the assistance of speech. So let's start off with, of course, the that which we're familiar with. The first one is to produce a good energy, and that is magnesium. Magnesium, magnificent magnesium. However, when it comes to speech production, there's a specific kind of magnesium which is very beneficial. It's a magnesium which is attached to an amino acid called threonate. And so it's not the usual magnesium we use, like magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate. This is magnesium threonate. And magnesium threonate is able to cross the blood-brain barrier and to get into the brain. And there it energizes and increases the workings of the brain cells. And so the first supplement I recommend in speech, in helping speech production, is magnesium threonate. And then we have our omega-3, good omega-3, that's well known. And then and that's of course for inflammation, as a very effective and good anti-inflammatory, and it also has other benefits. It helps brain cell structure. The brain is largely composed of fatty tissue, and omega-3 is a fatty acid, so it helps restructure and improve the structure of the brain, and it's very, 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 very beneficial. And then there's the importance of detox, and also to remove any stress, meaning any breakage and wear and tear of brain's tissue, that for that I recommend a specific combination of detoxification supplements and de-stressing supplements, things like alpha-lipoic acid and coenzyme Q10. And I recommend products either like Neuroactive Brain Sustain or an equivalent called Vitomito, which is made in South Africa. The first one's made in America. And those are combinations of supplements which strengthen brain tissue, which remove the toxins and remove the wear and tear and make the brain cells function in a better way. And then we come to our vitamins. And here I recommend a specific vitamin that I haven't mentioned before. Of course, vitamin C and vitamin B and vitamin D we've mentioned. But here, when it comes to speech production, there's a special place for a vitamin called vitamin E. And vitamin E is involved in restructuring the cell membranes of brain cells, which facilitate better brain cell function and help with speech. And then finally, I'd like to share with you a very fascinating cell process called methylation. And on one foot, to share with you what methylation is, methylation, we can compare it to adding a postage stamp to addressed and sealed envelopes with a message inside. Everything's ready to go. The only thing that's missing is another little piece of paper called a postage stamp. And when we put a postage stamp on, so off the letter goes to where it needs to go. It's the same thing in the cell. There's lots of letters and envelopes which are made up of carbon, but they can't go to where they need to go to in the cell unless one more carbon's added to them. That single carbon postage stamp, so to speak, is called a methyl group. And when the cell adds the methyl group, when it methylates, so the cell is able to send all its messages where it needs to go. And it has been known, it has been discovered, and has been shown that methylation in the brain helps the production of speech. It's as if the message is able to be delivered, much like speech is the ability to deliver a message. And so when we help the cells methylate, we help the child or the person produce speech. And there's a number of methylation supplements. Some of them are a combination of that methyl group added to either vitamin B12 called methyl B12 or vitamin B9 called methyl B9 or methyl folate, or they can be separate, just methyl B12, also called methyl cobalamin, or methyl B9, as I said, methyl folate, and it can be given in tablet form. Some people even prefer to give it in under the skin as an injection, but it has certainly been shown that methylation is very, very valuable in the production of speech. There are two other supplements which are, because this is my special field of interest, that I have gone into even further detail. And this just shows you the depth of this field of medicine. It's not just giving, standard across the board. Each area in each field has a added depth and an added expertise. Let me just mention this to you, those of you who want to research it. There's something called L-carnosine, and there's something called citicoline, and those are specific natural supplements which help repair nerve tissue, brain tissue, and have been shown to have a beneficial effect on speech. So there's a lot that can be done and a lot that can be advised, and there's tremendous opportunity and hope for those who are battling to develop speech and to have speech we can help them. And there's a hierarchy, of course, like all these things. We start off with the main thing, and then when we see if they are progressing, then that's good. We don't have to add more. But if we feel that more needs to be added, so there's more and more that can be done. And this is a message of hope and a message of positivity, that there's a lot that can be done when we are trying to help produce speech